this rivalry. The Moss Point Tigers must win this final regular season game of 2003, or the Tigers will not go to the playoffs. Oh, by the way, the Tigers need some help as well. On the other side of the field, the Pascagoula Panthers can win their first Region 4 title by winning here tonight, or having St. Martin lose in its game against Ocean Springs. And if St. Martin loses, that hurts Moss Point. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about a lot more as we get ready for the war. Moss Point Pascagoula right here on Cable 1's Cable Channel 13. Hi, Brad Kessie, Jackie Ellie. Glad you could join us here from Dutch Pinion Field, War Memorial Stadium, as the Tigers head out of the locker room toward the north end zone. Are you ready?
I'm ready. And Brad, this is our 11th game of the season. And this is really, when I got to the parking lot, backed my truck in and got our goosebumps jumped on me. Have not jumped on me all year. It's almost like it's playoff atmosphere, and I guess it's because it's a must-win situation for our Moss Point Tigers. The Tigers, the last 2 weeks, had opportunities to almost cinch a playoff berth, but came up a little short both times.
The Tigers tonight
are told about the
Moss Point's team captain, number 9, Kenneth Beth, 20, Terrence Hanna, 30, Brock Wiley, 35, Terry Kimbrough.
And on top of that, they have to look to the heavens and say a couple of prayers, because Moss Point goes to the playoffs if they win and if Biloxi beats Gulfport. That's a guaranteed spot. Now, if Biloxi loses to Gulfport wins and Moss Point wins, then you need Ocean Springs to lose to St. Martin, and that three-way tie to go as well. Any other scenario, Moss Point's over.
And that'd be the first time since 1990, the season before Jerry Allen became the head coach, that the Tigers would miss the playoffs. And that's not a spot that this Moss Point Tiger football team wants to go down in history, especially the seniors. You know, you look at Brandon King and Kenny Macbeth and all those other seniors. Those guys have given a lot to this program over the last 3 or 4 years. Matter of fact, since they started playing football, they don't want to go out this way. If they go out, they want to at least be in the playoffs.
The Tigers have won the toss and deferred to the second half. The wind is suddenly coming out of the north, and so the Tigers will have the wind to their backs as we begin this football game here at War Memorial Stadium in Pascagoula. For the Panthers, it's real simple. Win, and you're the number one.
Let's get on your Pink Panther fans for our 7-3 Pascagoula Panthers.
Pascagoula, that's why I'm glad that it's like that, because Pascagoula has something to play for.
And
when we
here come the
Panthers
Panthers.
Play for something, especially the helping Moss Point leads down the street, then we know that Ocean Springs and St. Martin are going to play their journey, and Biloxi, of all things, people don't even talk about Biloxi. But if everything works just right, Biloxi can still win this region.
Well, they can't win the region, but they go to the playoffs.
Well,
they're 2-4. They can't win the region.
Well, that's right.
They could slip into the playoffs, having won the final two games.
I was talking about Ocean Springs can win the region. Thank you. That's right.
Look to the far side of the football field for just a second, Jackie. This is the largest Pascagoula crowd we've ever seen. In the time we've been doing it.
That's right. You know, I go down to our club a lot, and Charles and all of those guys that come and they're here tonight. They always talk about the people, that the Panther supporters for years that have stopped coming to the game. They're starting to come back now, so it's so damn bland is done with the football team. They started off slow, losing their first 2 games.
And let's welcome the 5-5 Moss Point Tigers.
Football team. We changed their offensive philosophy, and this football team now is on a roll.
Moss Point has put itself in this position. They were 3-1. Life was great. The Tigers were playing Gulfport at home and St. Martin at home in consecutive weeks. 5-1, a region championship was within their grasp, and suddenly they stumble against Gulfport. They lose in overtime to St. Martin, and the next thing you know, the Tigers are really on the outside looking in this final playoff spot.
Well, talk about that quarterback keep. They call the quarterback keep, and what C.J. Bailey was supposed to do was to follow around and back down up the middle. But when the play was called, I hope I get this right, and right is the key word. And he said quarterback keep, and somebody said, yes, right. He said, right, they're right. And right came into his mind is the quarterback keep the ball and go to the right with the football. And I guess, I don't know if that's inexperience or that's anxiety or what, but that's what happened. So the coaches actually called the quarterback sneak just to follow the center straight up the middle, and Mitchell Number 24 was the only man that was not going to be blocked, and he was the one that actually made the tackle.
The one vivid memory I have from last week are all the Moss Point Tiger players laid out on the field when the game was over, their guts ripped out, their hearts smashed after the stand by St. Martin in the overtime victory. And Jerry Alexander is going to have done a great mental job of to get those guys back up to the level where they have to be to play this football game.
I was at the school today for a field trip and a lot of the Moss Point Tigers went on this field trip. If it's any indication of their attitude during the day and during the week, I don't believe that those last two losses are going to affect the football team because they know that they still can get in the playoffs.
Lorenzo King puts a boot into it. It sails 6 yards into the end zone. The Tigers defense will come out and try to stop the red-clad Pascagoula Panthers. 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line.
Pascagoula and Coach Dan Bland changed his offense in about the 3rd or 4th game of the year. What they did is they're going to more or less a full house backfield, which looks like a wishbone. It's not a true wishbone because they run very few options. It's more or less a power-running football team, and what you're going to see Moss Point doing is going to put 8 or 9 in the box. They're going to force this Pascagoula football team to try to get out of that full house backfield.
Matt Moorhead is the quarterback, and on 1st down, he hands to the second back through Dennis, tripped up by Ratliff. He picked up about 2. 2nd down coming up. Brandon Dennis, number 28, the ball carrier.
And Brandon Dennis and Trey Hopkins, they're the main two running backs. They're the tail on this wishbone, and they are the ones who run. Dennis has the more speed. Hopkins runs with a lot of power. He's over 1,000 yards already for this season.
Front 5 for the Tigers includes Pickens and Kelly. 2nd down handoff to the rest of the minute to hand off to Hopkins. Stop for no gain on the play. Defense with Brock Wiley right in the middle. Isaac Ratliff is at the end position.
Well, Brock Wiley was one of those guys that was there with us today, and he, Lorenzo King, Macbeth, all of them. I mean, the Cowboys, they did not sound like a football team that have lost 5 football games and on the verge of missing the playoffs. They're coming to this game with a lot of character. You cannot teach character. Character comes from within.
Richardson and Macbeth are the linebackers for the Tigers on 3rd down and 8. Option, Moorhead keeps, pitches back to Hobson. Pressure and drop in the backfield. 4th down coming up.
Now, the Tigers saw an option last week with St. Martin. Matt Moorhead is not T.J. Winters. I'm going to tell you that right now. Moorhead is not anywhere close to being in the same game as what T.J. Winters is. So Moss Point really wants him to keep the football tonight. If they force him to keep the football, then the Tigers should really be in good field position all night.
Punter is in on 4th down, and Brandon King stands near his 45-yard line. It's a good snap from center, and the ball is in the air against the wind. It bounces at the 45, taken by King there. King in the head of steam across the 40, fights his way down to the Panther 36, and the rest of the Tiger offense comes out 1st and 10.
Defense did what it had to do with this win. In the Pascagoula State. Now this offense has to get off to a quick strike. I almost look for this Tiger offense to come out and to try to put the football up early, try to throw the football down the field, stress that good defense, that good defense line down, but then they're going to run the trying for every play.
Eric Harris and Brandon Diverett, the running back tandem behind C.J. Bailey. First place in scrimmage. It is Diverett up the gut. Fights his way out to about the 34, maybe the 33-yard line before Dominic Hobson grabs him and brings him to the turf.
Ray, you remember the game last week, Brandon Diverett went out of the football game with an ankle. His case is real heavy, but I'm telling you, I talked to Brandon during the day and this afternoon before the game tonight. Brandon said, there is absolutely no way in the world that I won't play in this football game tonight. This game means too much to the team. I'm the leader in the backfield, and I'm going to play tonight.
Glenn Nettles, the tight end. The Tiger receivers are Sanders and Simmons. Moss Point puts 4 in the pattern. Shotgun formation on 2nd down, 7. Bailey drops back to the 42. Across the middle, he's got him in at the 22. Fighting for yardage, Sanders. 1st down, Moss Point. Sanders had it, lost a couple of yards, and he tried to make a move, and then got out to the 20.
Good first pass. C.J. Bailey. So, like I said, Brad, early in the football game, it does not look like the loss last week is starting off the way Morris Point finished last week, where they started tonight. But the Tigers really have got to keep that spark going the entire fourth quarter.
For Moss Point, it is first down, shotgun again, spread formation. Back to pass, screen pass, this time Harris, 20, tripped up as he reaches the 16-yard line. Short gain of 3, second down. Hey, Jerry Alexander's put Kevin Tanner, number 73, a sophomore, in the offensive line for Tigers. He's 5'11", 210.
Also, number 79 is about to start tonight is Khalil Rudolph. He hasn't played a lot this year, but he's starting at right tackle tonight with the Tigers.
Pick up a 4, second down, coming up. Offensive line is Perkins, Viverette, Johnson, Tanner, and Rudolph. Second down pitch coming near sideline to the 15-yard line, then hit driven backward was Viverette. Good pursuit again, Dominic Hobson making the tackle.
That play all year is so long just to try to turn up. And the way the Tigers run that, they're going to rattle with the line of scrimmage. Most people see Peter Blunt-Harris run on an angle toward the cone. Even if the receiver's coming, you'll still gain your yards.
No gain on that play from the 16-year hash mark. Third down, 6 coming up for the Tigers. 7:50, clock is running, quarter number 1 here from Dutch Stadium Field. Bailey back, drops to the 25, looks, sets, now rolls. Far side of the field, has to get away from 2 and does. Picks up a block, looks for someone to throw it to, pumps. He gets to the 20, now throws, he's got a man, Simmons, he dropped it. Simmons took his eye off the ball at the 10 and dropped it. It'll bring up fourth down.
C.J. Bailey did everything in the world he could to make a play for his team. Akeem Simmons just did what a lot of young receivers do. He tried to run with it before he caught the football.
So Lorenzo King, number 42, comes in to try the field goal. They'll spot it at the 23. It'll be a 33-yard field goal attempt. The angle is to the left. Sanders to hold. A good snap from center. The ball is down. The kick is certainly long enough, and it is true. So the Tigers have struck first with a 33-yard field goal.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was not Wynn that hit that football. If he kicked that football, if we had a shot of where the man is in the fence field before this game, that ball went all the way to the fence and past the track back there. John's trying to get a shot of it right now. You're seeing that ball even to the right of that, went over there to that fence that's behind that. That's thunder in the foot that Lorenzo King put in that kick.
5 plays, 20 yards, 2:44 came off the clock, a 33-yard field goal. Moss Point is on the board first, leading by the score of 3-0. You'll know the final, but we're going to make this out like it's live, and so periodically through this football game, we'll try to get you updates on especially the Biloxi Golf Course game. Because again, whatever Moss Point does tonight is almost irrelevant if the Tigers cannot get past, or if the Indians cannot get past the Admirals. The Lorenzo King kick is high, end over end, it sails to the goal line, and it comes out. Carl Stanton to the 15, Stanton to the 20. He's grabbed and brought down right there.
Good coverage for the Tigers. The reason for that, we didn't have that last week, Brad. Remember that last 2 weeks? We had those low-line baskets, which was very returnable. St. Martin had a short field operation on the ball was turned out to 40-45. But that ball is kicked as high as it is and only to the 21-yard line. So the Pascagoula Panthers offense still has to go a long distance against the Tiger defense.
So Moorhead brings him out. With Dennis and Hobson on either side of the fullback. And the first down handoff, Hobson tried a little misdirection, and I believe that was North who wrapped him up and brought him down after a short gain. That was Keller.
This offense that Pascagoula runs, a lot of ball handling. They will put the football down on the ground. The Tigers have to make penetration with Rock Wiley, Cornelius Kelly, and Mario Pickens, or whoever's playing the nose guard or defensive tackle. You make a lot of penetration early, you mess up the blocking scheme, and you could throw that multiple offense into disarray.
Well, you said before the game the Tigers would have 8 or 9 in the box. The ball is on the turf, just as you predicted. Picked up by Hobson somehow, dropped back to the 20-yard line. Great play by Hobson, and the Tigers almost had a turnover.
They did. And like as I told you, Pascagoula will turn the ball over. Moorhead, the quarterback, came in. It was not really going to be the starter early in this season. He is a senior, but Moorhead, and he's not a strong thrower, but he can throw the football. He's still accurate with throwing the pass short. And they like to throw the Hobson primarily coming out the backfield or the number 11 Stanton. That's their main receiver.
And Stanton's the man at the bottom of your picture. Third down, Tigers have 8 in the box. Hobson again looks for a little running room off right guard. He gets back to about the 24-yard line. Well short of the first down, and so the Tigers defense again 3 and out.
One thing the Tigers defense tonight is that play with a lot of discipline. You saw the last 2 weeks jumping off sides, jumping off, making the yardage real short for the opposing team. The Tigers have to stay and watch the football.
Aaron Martin is in punt formation. He will boot it to Brandon King. Whedon howls as the ball is in the air and taken out by the up back. That's Davenport, who gets down to about the 30-yard line. Correction, it was Jerome Williams. Williams gets to the 30.
Good hands by Jerome Williams. I heard Coach Brooks, the basketball coach, and Morris when does open the basketball season on Monday night. We want to encourage all the Tiger fans to come out and support a team that's been the same. Brady number 12 in the state right now, but thinking they're going to go all the way. They said, and he commented about Jerome's hands, that he had good hands, and you can see him, see those hands in action on every turn.
Harris and Viverette split backs, 1st and 10, and a penalty flag comes from the far side official. First time in weeks that we could say there is a true high school atmosphere here at a Moss Point game. I mean, you just hear it. Offside the call on Moss Point, somebody lined up in the wrong spot.
And the crowd is really good. We saw a lot of empty seats when we were on the field earlier, but people are still coming in. Some turns to a real good Moss Point crowd.
Not many people standing tonight, they're all sitting. 1st and 15 after the 5-yard walk-off. And on first down, the late handoff, very late handoff, went to Viverette. I mean, they almost missed the handoff. It was so late.
Almost. That play sets up the opposite play. Moss Point has run that play a lot. They have run the opposite a couple times this year. And Pascagoula coaches have known that the Pascagoula is not run that opposite. So that opposite is going to come open real soon. And the way Hobson is playing defense at the bottom of the formation along with number 3, Kenny Wells. If you can take it in there and this quarterback drop back a couple of steps and let that ball go, you can have wide open.
Jenkins checks in the game, replacing Viverette. 2nd down, 13. Back to pass is C.J. Bailey. Fires a bullet to the 25. Making a move to the 20. Here's Sanders, and he's driven back there. That should be enough for a Moss Point first down.
C.J. Bailey in this ball game earlier throwing the football on the wall. And every team that played the Tigers, the Tigers love to throw the out pass. Lately, the Tigers have been throwing a lot of purple passes because when the receiver just goes down and turns to the inside, those plays are wide open because the tackle just has to respect the Tigers' speed on the outside.
Willie McBride replaces Simmons on first down after that completion of 14 yards. Shotgun again. Harris is next to Bailey. Back to pass. They set up a pass to Harris. Very lucky there that it was only a loss of 2 because the coverage was by Hobson. And if the ball had any air on it at all, Hobson's going to pick it because he was waiting.
And Hobson is the best defensive player on that football field. Well, like some people say, Michael Fox 55, but Hobson plays all over. He'll line up in linebacker, he'll line up in safety, he'll line up in cornerback. But right now, they're giving more points to deep builders. Donald Payne is back there, but you get someone that's running flat pattern, it's going to go.
2-yard loss, high formation, 2nd down. Jenkins the ball carrier, and Jenkins is thrown to the turf as he reaches the line of scrimmage. It'll bring up 3rd down and long. Dale Alderman is the man who made the tackle for Pascagoula.
David Jenkins, number 6
Tigers,
on that run.
with that run, they put the football in a real good, almost straight ahead field goal position. You don't want to think about field goal after having the field position Moss Point has. That's been a bugaboo all year. The Tigers have not been able to finish off drives, get close to the red zone, and all of a sudden get this diamond. And I'm telling you, time more field goals than anything out of this.
Spread formation for the Tigers. 10 seconds on the 25-second clock. Third down and 13. Bailey back. Time across the middle of Simmons. Incomplete. He threw it a little high. And it went through his hands. And then two Panthers at the last second thought they could get to it. But the bullet went by. And it brings up fourth down. And so Lorenzo King more than likely will go out and try another field goal. This one will be from 40 yards.
There's no doubt that he can reach it now. The first kick and the two kickoffs. This is really the most different pass to the Panthers. For some reason, Lorenzo missed this field goal attempt.
2:46 remaining here in the quarter. Yeah, they went back a little further now. Taylor says, get up there a little, will you? Sanders on the high snap, gets it down. Plenty of leg. It is true. I mean, that ball is good for 55.
I tell you, Lorenzo King is pumped. He was with me today. I mean, he and David Booker. David doesn't play football, he plays basketball. But they gave a presentation today. I was just so impressed that they did with the frontline group that they have to have to bounce about this. Well, talk about the use of drugs and cigarettes and alcohol. And they did a great job with sixth grade elementary school taught more points. It's good to see when we get all the negative publicity always about young people. And let's say,
School District, thank you for following the scoreboard.
we have a lot of strong young leaders in Mark Point, and it's great that the
Safex Drugs, Pascagoula, Chevron,
The Moss Point scoring drive, 5 plays, 7 yards. They took up 2:38. So Moss Point has 27 yards in total offense, but it has a 6-0 lead. Thanks to the foot of Lorenzo King, who's been Mr. Everything so far for the Tigers special teams unit. He's the one who just put it through the end zone. So having a little wind at your back has certainly got Lorenzo King fired up.
I don't know if it's wind. It's helping some, but I'm going to tell you, the way that ball is dipping over his foot.
Did you see what the wind did to Louisville in their loss to Texas Christian on that last kick? I mean, you could even see the ball stop.
They killed it. They just shot it.
I mean, he finally kicked it straight, and then you just saw halfway there, the wind just hit it, it went up, and I does it all the time, even the wind. So it did.
Well, Pascagoula is still in this football game right now, but I tell you real soon, Goula's going to have to think about abandoning that run offense.
I don't think they will. Moorhead on first down will drop back to pass. Screen pass set up to Hobson, and he was buried by Kevin North back near the 10-yard line.
I call that great coaching and great preparation. Kevin North read the play immediately, and they know that they want to get the ball to Hobson more than anyone else. If they throw the ball down the field, it's going to be stamped. If Moorhead has to throw this football to beat the Tigers, I think Pascagoula is going.
7-yard loss back to the 13-yard line. 2nd and 17, Pascagoula. Moorhead the ball carrier. The pressure came immediately from Pritchett, and the Tigers corral the running back at the line of scrimmage.
Coach Bland does not like to throw the football, especially with the success he has. But if you're going to loosen up the Tiger defense, you look at 8, 9 people in the box, it's going to be mighty hard to run against the Tiger defense the way the Tigers are playing. And the Tigers defense is playing more aggressive tonight, and I think I've seen them play in a long time, Brett.
Where has this team been? You know what I'm saying? 3rd down and long. Moorhead will drop with the pressure coming from McBeth, and he got it for a sack. Back near the 6-yard line, McBeth blitzed and nobody touched him.
The Tigers again should get excellent field position in this football game.
A minute remaining in quarter number 1. Now Moss Point has to capitalize. 2 field goals are great, but the Tigers could have at least 14, probably should have 14, and 21 after they get good field position here. Snap, punt, high, wind grabs it, sails for the sidelines, bounces at the 32, and is down at the 37. Actually, the worst field position Moss Point has had tonight.
I was thinking before the ball was kicked that Jerome, Williams, and Brandon King needed to go up about 10 more yards. And even though if Brandon had been up, he probably would have called for a pass catch. A short pass like a short kick like that, you didn't have no room to really run the ball back. But I almost was going to watch the Brandon King on the sideline. I looked for Brandon. I looked for them to be thrown all the way to the end zone on first down.
Tigers go I formation to start drive number 3 with 35 seconds remaining. Single coverage on the bottom. Play action. Out pattern incomplete. Simmons, the intended receiver. Kenny Wells on the coverage. The ball was a little high.
But they're setting it up though.
Yep.
All of these little patterns, you're going to look for that smoke and go real soon.
One thing that C.J. Bailey has had tonight, and really has had for the last 3 or 4 weeks, that's time to throw the football. The offensive line has gelled.
Well, the changes tonight seem to be much more effective than what we've seen. Tanner was starting to show at the beginning of the season when the line wasn't doing too good, but so far tonight, Kevin Tanner's done a real good job at the center position.
Second down, shotgun. Bailey back. Now some pressure comes, he dances away from it. Rolls against his body, is hit. He may have lost a yard, has got back to the line of scrimmage. He actually went out of bounds, but they ruled that he landed inbounds and the clock is still running. And that's a shame because the Tigers left to throw against the wind when the second quarter begins.
That tight foul that he throws, the wind would not have taken. Don't think that wind is going to take that passing game and just try to throw a lot of long passes. Warming up though, man, okay, that is the first quarter. Warming up, the Tigers warmed up against the wind.
Through one quarter of play, it's Moss Point 6 and Pascagoula nothing. This is Tiger Football 2003. Brad Kessie, Jack Haley back here at War Memorial Stadium for the Tigers. Third down and 11. C.J. Bailey back. Throws a quick in pattern. It's caught by Simmons. Dives forward to the 26, and that's enough for a Moss Point Tiger first down. Tigers lead 6-0 here in quarter number 1. Gulfport is beating Biloxi 7-0, and St. Martin is beating Ocean Springs by the same 7-0 score. If St. Martin holds on and Moss Point holds on, the Tigers will go to the playoffs as the number 4 seed.
Come on, Tigers. Just take care of your own business. Don't even worry about what's going on down the street. You take care of your business. And since you didn't take care of it the last 2 weeks, you have to take care of it tonight.
Another game that should pique everybody's curiosity, just in case, is Oak Grove against Picayune. The winner of that game wins the region. If the Tigers are the number 4 seed, they play the top seed in Region 3.
That's right. Man, I thought we had a first down on that.
They gave him a spot way short. It is 4th down and an inch, and so I would guess that the Tigers may try the quarterback sneak. Right?
I definitely would. I wouldn't try anything but.
How about they don't say the word right in the huddle?
Oh, please don't say right. If you say quarterback sneak and the quarterback say quarterback sneak, you say
Yep. So Tanner leads the Tigers. Offensive line to the line of scrimmage. Bailey under center. Bailey hands it off to Jenkins, and Jenkins got to the 35 and is pushed back. He only needed 2 inches. He got a yard and 2 inches. First down, Moss Point. Panther fans all excited, but for not.
I don't know why, because I'll tell you what, they would not have given Moss Point first down then. You were going to have to call the fine if you don't hit me, because I was going to have to go pull those stripes off those shirts.
Mel Thompson is the referee. Always seems to do a quality job.
He does.
Just under 11 minutes remaining. Quarter number 2 now. The Tigers lead by 6. Start 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line. Shotgun formation. Bailey draw play. Hands off to Harris, and Harris is mauled. They have dropped the football as he was being thrown to the turf. Panthers think they have it.
When forward momentum came up, the Wilson should have blown.
And they're going to give it to Pascagoula. Harris is hurt. On the way, that's actually Jackson. It wasn't Harris, it was Jackson. And Jackson's struggling to the sidelines. As he was being thrown backward, he must have hurt himself and just lost the football. And that's the nature of the game.
There have been more Tigers with ankle injuries this year than time than what we've seen too.
Well, now you have to worry, Jackie, because this is the third possession the Tigers started in Pascagoula territory, and they only have 6 points to show for it. First down, they go reverse. Play action, it was a fake, downfield, Hobson makes the catch at the 45-yard line. They fake the reverse, and Hobson catches the Moorhead pass in front of Brandon King.
Well, that's the kind of pass that Pascagoula is going to try to throw a lot of deception. Pascagoula, by that turnover, appears to have whatever sleep they were doing, they've woken up now and they're trying to move the football. The Tiger defense just has to continue to play the type of football they play.
29-yard reception down to Moss Point's 45. It is first down 10. They bring a man in motion. Strong side now to the bottom. They fake to one. Dennis then gets the handoff, and Dennis gets about two before the Tigers. Brock Riley grabs him and throws him to the turf.
Defensive backs are coached never to let a receiver get behind you. And your job is to defend the pass. Your job is to run second. Brandon King got a little sucking in on that play. But it probably was a linebacker's name.
I go back to the fact on this second down play, Hobson a little speed. He gets through a hole and he's going to score. What I was going to say is the Tigers 3 possessions in Pascagoula territory, only 2 field goals to show for it. First possession in the end zone for Pascagoula when they're in Moss Point territory, and suddenly the Panthers could have the lead.
Well, this Panther football team, they're going to run the football and run the football and run the football. You've got to capitalize when you have the football in other people's territory. You've got to capitalize, and Moss Point has not capitalized by being in all night in Pascagoula territory and not scoring any touchdowns.
Neil Scott, the lefty, to try the extra point to get Pascagoula in the lead. Moorhead is the holder. Good snap from center. The extra point gives Pascagoula a 7-6 lead. That fast. The Tigers have all the momentum in the world. One long pass, one long run, and Pascagoula is out in front pending the penalty flag that is on the field. It's against the Tigers, so that'll count. They'll probably assess it on the kickoff.
Trying to see what the penalty was, probably that thing we had before about the center.
Moss Point is vulnerable to the big play flag because they have 8 to 9 men within 2 yards of the line of scrimmage. So if the defensive front isn't going to snap Hobson, he's going to have some big games tonight.
It appears that because someone from Tigers in the field line was forearm to the head.
And that will put the ball down to the 45 of Moss Point. That's where it will be kicked from.
That takes away the big weapon of Brandon King running the football back, and the Tigers are real confused of where to line up. Shouldn't be.
If you're Danny Bland right now, you're only kicking to the 35-yard line. They're against the wind. You try an outside kick.
That's what I would do. You don't have a thing to lose. The defense overall has played fairly decent.
Well, actually, their defense has played fantastic, if you want to know the truth.
They stopped Moss Point from getting in the end zone on 3 different occasions inside the Panthers.
Inside the 30-yard line 3 times. The Tigers have 2 field goals to go for it. So here's Scott with it on the tee. And it goes a line drive through the end zone. So Moss Point against the wind with 9:23 remaining here in the second. Now trailing 7-6. Has it first and 10.
And you know, the Tigers football team on the offensive side has not been known for a lot of long drives. This year, but just move the football. The Tigers have to get it going, and it appears that, I don't know if there was some problems with a couple of guys, but I think that some of the people that were starting, the Counters out, McDonald's back in, the football game. Marcus Moon, normally where he plays golf in 61, have not seen him on the field tonight. Been trying to find his number on the sideline.
I haven't seen him either. Harris and Jenkins the backs. Bailey on first down. Gives it to Harris, and Harris is tripped up after a short gain. Sprinting through the line of scrimmage was Michael Fox, who tripped up the Tiger RB.
And Michael Fox will make a lot of tackles. He is the man at the linebacker position that makes the plays for the Panthers.
It's a shame, too, because Harris had a hole. Marset checks into the game for the first time tonight. It brings up second down and 8. It's amazing how one pass and one run can take the life out of a team because they don't have the bounce they had just 2 minutes ago. Need to get it back. Second down, they give it to Marset with a little seam. He was hit and dropped by Dominic Hobson as he reached the 26.
Well, you're right. This is where you think that it might have flashbacks already. I mean, we get out, we dominate, and all of a sudden, one play and we're behind. Is this deja vu all over again?
Third down and 4 with the ball on the 26-yard line. Harris is next to Bailey. The sophomore calls for it, gets it. Tries to set up a screen pass, rolls away from the pressure, being chased, looks to run, 25, tripped up short of the first down. Tripped up again by Michael Fox, who saved the first down.
I didn't think there was no way in the world that anybody could have got to C.J. Bell and stopped the first down, but remember all of that time that C.J. Bell had early? Looked like all of a sudden it's gone away, and the way the offensive line was playing for the Tigers that was in, giving them a lot, not a lot of room to run the football, but a lot of room in order to throw the football. Big point.
And now Marcus Jackson and his gimpy ankle out on the football field. Penalty flag before. Look how he's limping, and that's the foot he's got to kick with. It appears that may be the call. Jackson with a bad ankle, injured on the Tigers' last possession, and now he has to kick into a win. Daryl Payne, number 9, is awaiting it near midfield.
And he can fly. He can fly.
And the linesman, Johnny on the spot.
That was a little help to go down the ground.
Low snap. Jackson gets a nice kick away. It'll bounce in midfield, take a Moss Point bounce away from Payne down to the 42-yard line. 35-yard punt, no return. Into the wind, excellent job.
Moss Point put the football on the ground one time, Pascagoula trouble. Pascagoula put the football on the ground a couple times.
Local Pepsi distributor Allen Beverages, a family-run business since 1947, is pleased to support the Panthers. Fresh and refreshing Pepsi products are available in the concession stands now.
Bring the offense to the sideline and try to toss it offense to get them generated.
Basically what you said was the microcosm of the season for both teams.
Right.
Breaks going to one team and not the other. Of course, breaks are from hard work. Dennis on first down is grabbed and dropped by number 9 from Moss Point, Kenny Macbeth. Short pickup on the play.
A lot of yards to go first down. Pascagoula right now needs to reach. I'm telling you, like halfway to touchdown, it's going to make the linebackers feel a little reluctant to come up quick and get a gap too quick.
6:55, the clock runs in the second. The Panthers lead by 1. Second down, 7 from the 45. Fake the one, they give it to the second. He fights through a hole, same play, and dragging Kevin North down to the 38-yard line was Hobson.
Rock Wiley go holler over the coach and something going on the defensive side of football, but Hopkins gets better as the game progresses. And you can see by those runs, he's starting to feel him open. When you're going to hit him, you've got to get him before he gets started.
17-yard pickup for Hobson. First down, Pascagoula. Inside handoff, darting to the outside, making a couple of moves, making some Tigers miss to the 30 when Xavier Stallworth.
Power football, that's all Pascagoula is running now.
Gain of 9, second down and 1. That wasn't so much power, that was elusiveness because he was doing some dancing.
Well, he kept his feet moving at the end to move the power.
Short second down play. Moorhead rushes to the line of scrimmage. Tries the quarterback sneak. I'm not sure he got there.
You almost look for Hopkins to get the football coming off the right side of his offensive line.
The ramifications of this football game enormous. Moss Point must win if it wants to go to the playoffs. It also needs some help. Third down, they made the Tigers jump.
Working back to last week in a hurry.
The offside call, first down for Pascagoula.
I know a lot of coaches, when they coach, the defensive coaches, they put cotton in the defensive line for years so they can't hear. And say Martin is doing what his hands to do to help Moss Point.
Up by 2 touchdowns, all right?
That's right.
First down, 25-yard line. Hobson again, same hole. Hobson was nailed, spun off that tackle, and got down to the 19-yard line. He was hammered, but just spun right off it.
He's thrown hard for the Panthers. Gain of 6 yards, bring up second and 4.
Trey Hobson, and he's only a junior. And we've seen in the last couple of weeks a couple of running backs who are going to be great next year. They're great already. Dennis, second down, goes wide, and the Tiger pursuit brings him down near the 15-yard line.
This Tiger defense has got to find a way to make a big play. Cornelius Kelly, I don't know what happened to him, but he's there to come out of the football game and get good Christmas going in. But a lot of the ball players, this is not a field that the Tigers have finally gotten rid of a lot of those guys who really big football and
Third down 1. Moorhead to Hobson. He's hit in the backfield by Pritchett, and the Tiger defense stiffens and holds.
Big Willie Pritchett came in for Kelly, and initially he came in and made at least a 2-yard loss, I would guess.
They only gave him a 1-yard loss back to the 16.
A big fourth down call. This will be emotionally lift for both teams right now.
Well, they're going to bring out the kicker. Neil Scott, the little lefty, sneaks out there, changes footballs.
He was slow on that extra point. The Tigers had a lot of penetration. The Tigers have been pretty good all year, blocking kids.
31-yard attempt, ball down, kick is high enough, and it is good. We've had 2 good field goal kickers tonight doing their stuff. 10-6 is the score after that. 32-yard field goal.
Well, all in all, the Tigers are really lucky because the way Pascagoula is moving the football. At least the Tigers defense because of Willie Pritchett made a big simple stop. Now this Tiger offense has got to be capitalized. I mean, you can't ask for any more your defense.
That was a 7-play, 42-yard drive. 3 minutes, 59 seconds. Clicked off the clock.
It's hard to score Nokia Sugar Bowl tickets without good connection. Register at any Sailor South location or online at Sailor South. Win a trip to 2004 Nokia Sugar Bowl National Championship game. Registration ends November the 24th, 2004.
Somebody can give you something. You ought to be able to take something once.
King at the 5-yard line. Scott puts it on the tee at the 40.
15, Brandon King, deep back to receive for the Tigers.
It is returnable from the 2. Brandon King looks for his wedge up the gut. He finds the seam. King to the 35, 40, 45, and out to the 46-yard line. A 42-yard return, giving the Tigers some life with 3:17 remaining. Hey, you know what? Let's go all the way back to Biloxi and say, why isn't this guy on the field more often?
He played 1-2 offensive plays. He did drop a touchdown pass, but I mean, when you go in the slot, instead of putting like they think it's a good ball player and all, but is he a game breaker that Brandon King is?
You hate to see your best game breaker on the sidelines with Gatorade in his hand when the offense is on the field. Shotgun, first down. Bailey back, has to step up because of the pressure. Throws on the run high, tipped incomplete. Tried to hit Sanders off his hand. Nettles was close to it, as were two Panthers after the deflection. It fell to the turf.
Falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10 for the
The
Tigers.
Pascagoula penetration is coming right now, and on the way TJ Bailey has got to scrap for his life. You almost are hoping for a screen pass. You're hoping to allow the receiver to go down clear out. And if that's a screen pass off somebody like Brandon King, he can really accelerate.
But it actually looks like they're defending that also, because they are they're rolling the running back out. Where it looks like they're going to throw screen, it always looks like there's a defender with them. See right now, see there's a defender there?
That's the quick
Across
screen.
the middle behind Viverette. It brings up 3rd down. Viverette was open, but that ball was behind him.
But that's the quick screen that they're defending now. I'm talking about the screen where the quarterback gets the ball, stays, takes about 5 or 6 more steps back, and then just dumps it over the linebacker. By that time, you should have about at least 3 blockers to take care of that one linebacker. I feel a little nervous with starting to get into desperation right now on the side of the Morris Point Tigers. It feels that the Christmas that they came out with early in the football game is not there anymore.
3rd down, Viverette in motion. 3-man rush, pressure comes. He gets away from it, runs to the 46-yard line. First down, Moss Point. Sanders, who gets buried by Wells, but not until he has a first down on the 14-yard pickup.
Pass complete to number 19, Marcus Sanders, for Tiger first down.
TJ Bailey, they grow and talk to Coach Landry Cable before the game and ask him, are you satisfied with the progression of the sophomore quarterback? He's pretty close to being on schedule. He's got a little bit more to go, but don't forget, this is the first year starting. First time really playing in 2 years in junior high.
Just inside the 40-yard line. Moss Point has it 1st and 10. The clock shows 2:40. It's running in quarter number 2. Bailey back again, steps up. He's going to run this time. He's to the 35 to 30, down to the 25 or 26-yard line. 14 yards and a first down.
I don't know if you heard one of the coaches, but he's absolutely right. He hollered, put the ball away when he was running the football out by the side. The only thing it takes was a defender to come from the side and slap the ball out of his hand. You've got to learn when you make that decision to run the football to tuck it away.
But it is a first down after the 14-yard scamper. And that will also loosen up the defense. Slow down the pass rush a little bit. Viverette in motion. They go with the shotgun, back to pass. Bailey, pressured, rolls away from it. He's tripped, gets a great block at the 30, fires to the corner of the end zone. It's a touchdown! They ruled that it was out of bounds. Sanders did everything he possibly could to keep both feet in, or at least one. But the back judge said no, he was coming off when he caught it.
And it appears to be a penalty on the play. And this gives ball point.
So it was going to come back anyway.
Well, he missed
Was that Viverette who threw the block at the 30?
Yes, it was. The back judge called that, but he was in bounds on his side. It was on this sideline that we thought he may have been out of bounds.
It was close. And they're closer than we are, so
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to give them that. The penalty would have brought it back anyway. The 41-yard line is where they spotted after a 10-yard penalty with 1:52 remaining.
More than 10 yards.
Well, the spot of the penalty was the 31, and that's why it's the
Okay.
10-yard walk-off from there.
Penalties assessed 10
I thought he
yards.
went back to the line.
No.
Will be first and 25 for the Tigers.
More importantly, with that wind blowing, that's going to hurt field goal right there. The Tigers are getting in field goal range.
So you're settling. First down and 25 from the 41. Bailey back, here comes the pressure right up the gut. He rolls away from it, looks downfield, throws. He's got his man, it's Harris, and Harris fights out to the 21. Harris got 20 of the 25 back.
Jesse Moss, please move your car or it will be towed. Jesse Moss, please move your car.
Clock runs, a minute 25 remaining. Plenty of time for the Tigers, who now have a second down and about 5. Pascagoula with a 3-man rush is getting to Bailey, but he's able to scamper away. Throws a screen pass incomplete. The ball was deflected at the line of scrimmage by Xavier Stallworth as they tried to go to Harris coming out of the backfield.
Brandon Viverett over the middle, Glenn Nettles to the outside. Both those young men appeared to have broken open. It looked like it was a missed coverage on Pascagoula. Kenny Wells came to take the short man, and they split it.
Third down and 5 from the 22. Make it 3rd and 6. .106 remaining here in the second. Bailey changing the play. Has time. 3-man rush. Sets. Rolls away. Looks to run. Pumps. Now lost it out of the end zone. Oh, he got hit out of bounds, and that'll be a penalty. A penalty on Pascagoula. A stupid play by the Panthers DB. Hitting Sanders 10 yards out of bounds.
10? He was almost back in Moss Point.
Had to be flagged on that play.
Moss Point has new life with 56 seconds remaining in the second quarter.
That's going to be a first down. Was that Payne?
It was number 9, Darrell Payne. And Payne looked at the ref and said, "What did I do?"
Well, if you don't know what you did, Mr. Payne, the Tigers got wholesale number changing. It appears they're putting a power football team in the game.
Taking out Sanders, Simmons, and Viverett with the ball sitting at the 11. 56 seconds remaining. Moss Point still has 3 timeouts.
And can't get another timeout. They
And-
can't get a first down.
And it is Pascagoula who takes this timeout with 56.9 seconds remaining in quarter number 2. 10-6 is the score. Moss Point had great field position throughout the first quarter, got 2 field goals, and then turned it over the third time they were inside the 30. Pascagoula scored
Still in the second quarter.
like lightning.
Score St. Martin 21, Ocean Springs 7.
St. Martin leads by 2 touchdowns, 21-7, over Ocean Springs.
Opportunity to acknowledge
Well, the Moss Point
our
guys
junior
are getting everything
cheerleaders,
they need.
Abby Banahan, Kim Dearman, Charlotte Underwood,
Right now,
and Emily Wilkes.
It appears
Our
that they
sophomore
got the football
cheerleaders, Joanna
almost
Pucci,
sure
Hillary
field goal
Clark,
range, but when you're down by
Elizabeth
4,
Brotherton,
field
Alicia
goal's not good
Holder,
enough. You
Alyssa
go
Lynn,
eliminate the
Emily
football game.
Moore,
But the
Sarah
Tigers need to do those score touchdowns, and the momentum that Pascagoula recovered with that fumble recovery, and then the fumble by Hopper, this can be a big touchdown.
Audrey Hughes, Laura Key.
The key is they got to get it in the end zone.
Gotcha.
Great job you do.
Hannah and Marcette are in the game along with Harris. So are they going to go? And so is Willie Pritchett.
14, Biloxi 7.
So they're going to go with a little Pascagoula power.
56-man second. Now this is where you really look at your tight end though. Play action right here will be real big.
Under center. Play action. Rolling. Looking. To the end zone. Lost it to Pritchett. It's intercepted. The ball hung up in the wind, and it was picked off.
That ball intercepted in the end zone by number 3.
That's 4 times now the Tigers have not gotten in the end zone.
That didn't fool anyone. I mean, if you're going to throw it, you're going to play action. You haven't run the football successful all night. So if you don't run the football successful, why in the world would you change from the people like Marquise Sanders and King Simmons, the guys who have been your successful receivers all year?
There's 49 seconds remaining, and with this running attack, this quarter is not over. Moorhead under center. The Tiger defense must stand up. Dennis on first down. Bounces to the outside. Short pickup of 3 or 4.
But I don't think the Tigers need to use those timeouts now. They need to let this clock run and try to go regroup.
Brought down by number 85.
Not only did they go play action with a power formation, they threw the ball to the defensive lineman.
Big Willie Pritchett, but he has great hands.
Great hands, I know that.
Half a basketball player, but that's one that CJ should have just thrown out of the end zone.
They give the ball on second down, and Kevin North is able to grab the running back Hobson at the 29-yard line. A little pushing and shoving in the final 5 seconds, and we have reached halftime here at War Memorial Stadium, and it is a war. With the playoffs on the line for the Moss Point Tigers, the score, Pascagoula 10 and Moss Point 6. Halftime activities are done. Determine whether they have any playing time left in 2003. Moss Point trails 10-6 here at Pascagoula and must win if they want to go to the 5A playoffs in 2003.
Going in that locker room has got to determine what they're going to try to come out and do and challenge these young men to come out. I mean, if you can get back the same drive and fire that you had the first 8 to 9 minutes of this football game, you can turn around. But I'm going to tell you something, Brad, and all my experiences. If Moss Point does not come out this opening second half kickoff and do something real positive, and then on the first time pass we get the ball, the defense do something positive, then this football game is going to be close to being over. I hate to say that, but it's reality.
He's Jackie Ellie. I'm Brad Kessie. We're here at War Memorial Stadium on Cable 1 on a Saturday morning. Glad you could join us for the 11th and final regular season game of this football season. The Tigers are 3-3 in the region, 5-5 overall. They must win this football game if they want to even think about going to the playoffs next week to take on either Oak Grove or Picayune.
And right now, St. Martin is doing everything that Moss Point needs. They're leading Ocean Springs 21-7. Of course, this Saturday morning, you already know the result of that football game, and you know if the Tigers have made the playoffs or missed it. But Moss Point, without winning this football game, it doesn't matter if St. Martin wins, if Biloxi comes back to beat Gulfport, doesn't make any difference. They don't take care of that business at night. That means you wash all of the equipment, jerseys and pants, and you just get ready for next year.
You see the Tigers still stretching in the northwest corner of the end zone. The officials are dying for the Tigers to get out on the football field. Pascagoula's kicker, Neil Scott, already has it on the tee, and Moss Point hasn't even thought about running out to the sideline yet.
So they just gathered around Coach Alexander, and the officials kept blowing the whistle, and the referee...
The linesman here wants a flag to be thrown for delay of game, and the referee, Mel Thompson, looked at him and said, forget it.
The head coach and athletic director.
Well, he wanted 25-second clock to start.
Jerry Alexander
And Thompson just put up a hand and said, don't worry about it.
He understands this game is too crucial for something like that to happen. Especially, I had some conversation, Brad, last week with some other officials about the game last week and the calls, and they said that what they did, they've been encouraged to make sure that people see the numbers. but not to enforce it, not to make an issue of it like they did last week. That official was in the stadium last week and saw it, and he said that he was actually embarrassed to be an official last week after the way those guys carried themselves.
BK is back awaiting the kick from Scott, and the second half of the final regular season game of 2003 is underway. It's a pooch kick. It sails to McBride. It bounces off of him at the 13-yard line. It's picked up by Brandon King, who drops the football, fortunately out of bounds at the 17. That was disaster. King just needed to fall on it, but he ended up, after falling on it, getting up before he actually had control of it, so he was able to run, and he fumbled it out of bounds. Wow.
I was worried about the official who was the one that wanted to give Morris Point to delay a game penalty. He was the one that had to make the call, and he never once signaled that Morris Point, the ball had gone out of bounds. He just called it dead, but he didn't signal that Morris Point had control of the football.
So the sophomore C.J. Bailey brings the Moss Point Tigers back onto the football field. Moss Point will go against the wind in the third quarter, trailing 10-6. Marquise Sanders to the bottom of your picture. Hakeem Simmons splits out wide to the top. And Moss Point has brought in number 26. Is that the freshman?
That's him.
And on first down, his name is
Steve Tate.
Steve Tate, the ball carrier. One of the reasons Tate is in the football game is because Viverette has the shoulder pads off. Apparently his ankle is too injured to continue.
And Marcus Jackson is also out of the football game. He's limping bad, and I guess they need Marcus for punting. But I do know that David Jenkins is healthy, and I don't know. I think that Tate's a good move, but not right now.
Second down and 9 and 11 after the 1-yard loss for Moss Point. Play action, rolling away from a lot of pressure is Bailey. Lofts it to Nettles, who makes the catch at the 25-yard line.
Bailey cannot continue to run for his life on every play.
Well, he better,
and
because I think that's going to be the nature of the rest of this football game.
And Pascagoula has put Trey Hobson 45 in on the defensive side. You know that he's going to try to put pressure. I know what Pascagoula's adjustment is. The way C.J. Bailey has been getting around, they're trying to put some speed in. He's going to be the star on C.J. Bailey all night.
Third down 2. The ball sits at the 25-yard line. Harris and Jenkins the backs now. They give it to Harris, looking for a seam, spins. He stood up by Hobson at the 26, a yard short of the first down. Pascagoula's defense, the interior, has been strong all night. And the Tigers will punt it away.
Pascagoula did what it had to do on defense. Now, Moss Point has to turn the tires too and do the same thing. We said that the Tigers needed to do something strong, and Moss Point has everything out there except for Richard Perkins is going to punt.
Payne awaits the kick from Perkins. Again, Jackson injured his ankle in the first half. It's a low snap. Perkins got it away off the side of his foot, bounces out of bounds, or at least to the sidelines at the 43-yard line of Moss Point. Pascagoula, great field position after a 17-yard punt.
Whatever could go wrong right now, it appears since the fumble by Marcus Jackson, he got injured on the play. Since that time, everything that can go wrong for the Moss Point Tigers has gone wrong. They haven't been able really to move. They moved the football a little bit, but they have not been able to capitalize. This defense needs to create a turnover, force Pascagoula to go 3 and out.
Jackson is trying on the sidelines to loosen up his right ankle, but it's just not going to happen. Moorhead on first down from the 43 of Moss Point. He gives it to Dennis, who sneaks past one tackler and picks up about 5.
He ran right through Lamario Pickens. Lamario Pickens had him in the backfield for about a 3-yard loss, and he just ran right through that tackle and gained a strong 6 yards. It's a short field for Google. This is almost like the game started with Moss Point having this short field.
Moss Point trailing just 10-6. That's the thing. Suddenly it looks like Pascagoula's outplaying it for only down 4, just like when the Tigers were up 6. Second down handoff, a seam. Hobson drags Tigers down to the 20.
Pascagoula offensive, the right side of the offensive line has done a great job against Morris Point's left side. That's the side they've been running the ball to and gaining positive yards. That's the only side that they're able to go, and that's the side that people have been going against the Tigers all year.
A 17-yard gain to the 20, first down. Wishbone formation, and Morehouse will drop back. Screen pass set up to the outside to the 20. And the Tiger defense is quickly there to bring down Stanton after a short gain of about 1.5 or 2.
The Tigers, this defense, somebody on this defense got to make a big play to come up, need a big sack or turnover. You notice though, since Moorhead tried to pitch that ball one time to Hobson with this offense, they have not pitched it anymore.
Stanton to the top of your picture. Dennis and Hobson are the backs. They give it to Dennis, who's hitting the backfield and drop for a loss. Good interior pressure from Moss Point's defensive front, led by Pickens, who didn't miss this time.
Big 3rd down and 10 play. You almost know that Hobson has to fit into this equation to try to get the football to him. Hopefully, they try to throw the football to spot Moss to catch that football intercepted and run it back if he do try to throw the football.
Moorhead gives it to Hobson, who's hit immediately. Cornelius Kelly got through along with Macbeth. Loss of 2, fourth down.
First decision for Dan Bland. Does he try to kick the field goal or does he go for it on 4th down? It appears that he's sending in the other the Hobson brother, number 15, who's a sophomore.
They need to get to the 10. The ball's on the 22, 4th down. And Tiger fans are sitting. Morehouse play action. Hit as he throws across the middle. It's intercepted. At the 10-yard line, it's picked off by PK. Kelly to the 35. Looks for running room to the 40. And dragged out at the 43-yard line. Brandon King with the INT.
Pascagoula receiver Hobson was looking for an interference call. Don't think it was by the way the ball was thrown and all he tried to cut the ball slip. Again, the defender did touch a little bit, but I don't think that was a penalty.
So the fans would like the Big Blue to fire up. Put the ball at the 44-yard line. First down, Moss Point. First turnover of the night for Pascagoula. 2 receivers for the Tigers. One is Nettles, the tight end. They go with a reverse. Simmons looked like he was going to try to pass it. He's hitting the backfield, and he's dropped for a loss. So there was the bag of tricks. And play number 1 was too slow in developing.
Against that defense, especially because if you would have noticed before the ball was snapped, Pascagoula had 7 people in the box and they had 5 down linemen. That's the first time all night that they've lined up. What Pascagoula's doing, I think they figured Moss Point was going to try to run the football on 1st down. So what you have to do is you got to throw the football on 1st down when they get in the box. Look at the quick swing.
Simmons and Sanders offset eye, 2nd down, and now 15. Going up top, looking for Sanders. Sanders was there, but he was covered by Octavius Triplett. Good coverage there by number 7.
Pass intended for number 19.
A little bit more air under it because you don't know if the wind got a hold of that football or not. Sanders that broke free, but that ball kind of got knocked down. Those are the kind of passes you don't want to throw against the wind. You got to remember that the passes that were successful for Morris Point earlier were those curl passes.
3rd down and 15 coming up. We've reached the 6:28 marker, quarter number 3. It's still 10-6 Pascagoula. The Panthers trying to win their first region title. The Tigers trying to stay in the playoff hunt. Tate, the man in motion. Quick screen pass to Simmons. He gets by 1. He won't get by many more. He gets back to the 40, and that's it. It brings up 4th and long.
If Simmons gets that pass, you run to the outside. You never run back to the middle where all the pursuit is coming from. You got to use your speed to extend it to the outside. You got less people out there.
Perkins will punt. Payne will wait.
The last 2 snaps have been low snaps and on the ground. Perkins does not need to get down on the knee.
Good snap this time. And the kick is away. It may have been blocked. It was blocked. And it is downed by Jenkins at the 48-yard line. Tipped on the play by Dale Alderman.
That's kind of partial.
5:43 remaining.
Just too slow in trying to get the punt off. You know, you got to get that football. You got to get it out. And that's where you're going to miss Marcus Jackson, too, because remember before, twice in this year, when there was bad snapping on, Marcus Jackson has the athletic ability to take the ball and run for first down. I don't think Perkins has that kind of speed or athletic ability.
Moorhead leads the red-clad Panthers on the football field. Dennis, first down. He is grabbed by Pickens and dropped for a huge loss. Pickens came off the right end unblocked, and he drops him for a 5-yard loss.
Need about 5 more plays like that when the defense try to get the ball in the end zone.
There's maybe a penalty flag on the play because the official has stopped the clock. Illegal procedure is called on Pascagoula.
Against the Panthers.
Well, the Tigers should decline that.
Actually, a loss of 6 back to the 42. Good spot for the Tigers there.
Second down for the Panthers.
Lost Point trails, but only by 4.
Second and 16.
That's the thing. It's not panic time.
No, it's not. Has the defense scored a touchdown this year?
I don't think so. Maybe 1, maybe. Second down, 16. Handoff is to Hobson, and Hobson is grabbed. Lorenzo King and company at the 44-yard line. 3rd and long coming up.
Sometimes when you come in as a defender trying to make a tackle, you try to go in extra hard, and you throw yourself off. You have to tackle under control. Every lick does not need to be that jarring tackle that's going to knock somebody's feelings out. Sometimes you just need to come in and wrap up and let all your defensive mates stop any progression on the running back.
3rd down, 14. Wishbone formation again for Pascagoula. Moorhead will send runner backs out in the pattern. He was pressured on the play, and he throws it incomplete. Isaac Ratliff had the pressure. 4th down coming up.
And Lorenzo King was out there. If that ball is thrown up, Lorenzo King, I don't know if he could have INT'd it, but he was right in position to try to catch that ball on the move. So the Tiger defense is doing what it has to do. This offense has got to do something to turn the tide.
Pascagoula's defense has been tough on Moss Point tonight.
They have.
Speed and size.
They've been, but they have not broken.
On 4th down and 14. The ball is in the air. Kicked away from Brandon King, who gets it at the 20. It was hit immediately. Penalty flag is down. Brandon King has a seam. It's going to come back, even though Brandon has scored. A penalty flag sitting at the 37-yard line. A penalty flag sitting at the 37-yard line. It was a 79-yard punt return. And for the 2nd consecutive week, a Brandon King punt return for touchdown is going to be negated.
And it was not a late penalty.
It was there early.
Very early. That's not playing it smart. It was even before Brandon King actually got the football.
Yep. $79-yard touchdown, called back by a penalty for the 2nd consecutive week.
That's why it's important to get Brandon King in the football game, because he can make it happen.
It's marked back to the 20. Yeah, it must have been a flip. Marked back to the 25-yard line. 4:13 remains.
I still don't know why, Brad, like you said, Brandon King, the way he can explode, he needs to be in the football game. It's crucial now.
You know, they put Hobson on both sides of the football.
That's right.
Shotgun formation, 5 receivers from Moss Point, 4-man rush. CJ dances away from pressure. Looking downfield, throws, it is incomplete. He was looking for Tristan Barnes, and there were 4 Pascagoula Panthers around him. This is an undersized Moss Point offensive line going against one monster defensive lineman, Zach Crosby, who takes up so many blockers, the speedmen are able to get by the other offensive line without a problem.
Yeah, but if you put shoulder pads, and Coach Jones tell us, if you take the legs from an elephant, he can't hurt you. But they're not blocked. They're not staying on the block. Is one time and disappear.
2nd down, 10. 24-yard line, 4:02 remaining in the third. Draw play this time, and there's nowhere to go. And boo birds come out from some of the Moss Point faithful. I think you have to run that once in a while just to keep the defense honest.
You have to keep them honest. The only thing about it is it really doesn't stop the defense when in fact you haven't been able to run the ball successful all night.
Right.
And really all season.
3rd down and 8. Too many receivers to name for Moss Point. It's a 3-man rush, all speed. Pressure coming, and Bailey can't get away from it.
And I want you to look.
They were blocking 6 on 3, and they couldn't stop 3.
And all of the offensive linemen, every one of the offensive linemen is standing up looking at the quarterback being sacked.
They kept a running back in, so there were 6 blockers for the Tigers, 3 rushers for Pascagoula, and all 3 got through. Marcus Jackson is back in the football game now after the 6-yard sack. He will punt.
With the field position that Moss Point had on several occasions, the last 2, especially the one before this drive, it's just, you know, inconceivable that you have a football team that can get that and not move the football.
The kick is right off the instep of his foot, high in the air. Takes a Tiger bounce. Fortunately, it's down at the 45 of Moss Point.
Don't forget that's against the wind as well.
And with a lousy ankle.
Yep.
2:21 left in the third. Still only 10-6. And the Moss Point Tiger defense is being asked to once again hold.
If this defense doesn't score special teams,
Well, the special team scored, but one of the players
we got to see it
committed a
count.
penalty. Yeah.
But we needed to count.
Moorhead, 1st down. He gives it to Dennis. They fake the reverse, and the Tigers' Richardson was there to make the tackle back in midfield.
Well, the defense is doing this part to try to keep the Tigers in this football game. Coach Facina is over on the sideline with the offensive linemen, having a long conversation with them about their blocking assignments. And until they get in the mind that they got to block until the whistle blows.
Almost a 6-yard loss, 2nd down and 16. Pascagoula is easy to figure out. Dennis gets the ball on 1st down, 2nd and 3rd down to Thompson. And there is Hobson looking for running room off the gut. Hit, broken at tackle, dances away, 35, 30, makes a cut against the grain, spins and tackled at the 27-yard line. Pritchett may have saved a touchdown.
Hobson is just running, he wants it. When you find someone who wants the game, like a running back like that, then he's going to give it his all when the defense slacks up a little bit.
A 23-yard gain, 1st down, they give the ball inside. And that was Xavier Stallworth, and Stallworth gets inside the 20.
Brock Wilder's had a pretty good game from the middle of the Tigers. He's on the sideline now.
8-yard pickup, 2nd and 2, final minute of the 3rd. Dennis tripped up and dropped. Lorenzo King blitzed through. He actually ran right into the up back who tripped up his own running back.
Another big 3rd down play.
Loss of about 2. It is a huge 3rd down from the 21-yard line. And it's Hobson time. And they made the Tigers jump. Moss Point screaming that nobody went into the neutral zone.
It didn't even look like he did. He's like he just leaned forward a little bit. But again, you see where the flag, it always happens. It appears against Moss Point always from the other side, on the opposing team side. We don't know if he was outside or not from our angle, but the way he just leaned, it didn't appear that he got into that neutral zone.
Final 25 seconds. Ocean Springs still trailing, but so is Moss Point. 1st down handoff with running room. Hobson fights his way down to about the 12, and that's where the Pascagoula Panthers will begin the 4th and final quarter of the regular season. The score through 3 is Pascagoula 10, Moss Point 6, but the Panthers are on the prowl when we come back. This is Tiger Football 2003. And 6 coming up for the Panthers. This is it, folks. Handoff up the gut. Dennis was hit by Richardson. He may have gotten a yard. It'll bring up 3rd down and long. And the one thing I said to Jackie between quarters is this is a lifeless football team all of a sudden. There's no sense of urgency on the sidelines. Nobody trying to pick anybody up. And the last time I remember Moss Point looking like this was when Starkville just ran right through them in the state championship game.
And this is where it came back. Moss Point had to get off and continue a good start, play error-free, bring us 8 games. Didn't do that. Pascagoula turned the tide midway through the 2nd quarter, and it's been the team that's been in control this entire rest of this game.
Moorhead to throw. Stanton incomplete. It'll bring up 4th down. It is only 10-6, and that's why it's so stunning that the Tigers are so down.
That's right. Well, they can't find anything to work. So even if the Tigers are able to stop this and let this field goal go, and who's that coming off from Kevin North? They're going to try a field goal. Even if Pascagoula gets the field goal, Moss Point is still just a touchdown and an extra point away from at least tying this football game.
Scott will try a 28-yard field goal right up the gut. Moorhead will hold. Good snap. It's blocked. The Tigers blocked it. Moss Point has blocked it. It was Brandon King. Who else?
Who else but BK?
Brandon King does everything, and then he comes off the football field when the Tigers go on offense. And that's the one thing I've never understood about this 2003 season. You got to get Brandon King on the football field. He should be demanding that he gets on the football field because he's a senior and he doesn't want to end.
He doesn't want to end, and I'm telling you, that's what the Tigers have got to, they've got to do something. They need a spark from somewhere.
From the 19-yard line, 1st down. 3-step drop across the middle, incomplete and intercepted. Intercepted the 35-yard line to the 20, to the 15, to the 10, 5, touchdown Pascagoula on the INT by Octavius Triplett. The ball was thrown behind the intended receiver. Triplett kicked it off and went 30 for a touch.
Pascagoula defense is making the plays. Moss Point's offense is not helping the situation at all.
With that 25-yard
I just saw Coach Alexander go up and say something to Coach K, and I don't know, does it mean there's going to be a change of quarterback?
Moss Point had just blocked a field goal attempt, and on the first play from scrimmage, on a 3-step drop, C.J. Bailey and Sanders were on two different pages of the playbook. The extra point somehow squeaks through. It's 17-6 because that ball was thrown 5 yards behind the intended receiver.
And Sanders was open. He was open.
17.
You know something I don't like to see though, Brad, is that when, of all people, 3 offensive linemen came over the sideline raising all kind of canes.
Tristan Barnes has a football in his hand. And Jerry Alexander is going to make a change in the 4th quarter of the final game of the season. Down by 11. Barnes will come in. There is an injured Tiger on the field. I think he has a cramp. At least I hope it's only a cramp.
Is that BK? No.
No, it's too big.
BK's in the end zone. I didn't see him at first.
11 minutes remain. And Pascagoula, after having a field goal blocked and Moss Point seeming to have momentum, gets it right back with the defense. And truly, it's been the defense of Pascagoula that has been the star of stars on this final regular season game of the season.
They set the tone for this ball game, and something you never see with 11 minutes to go in this ball game. You see a lot of Tiger fans leaving. And this game is still not over, really. I mean, the Tigers are down by 11, but I mean, you need a spark, but the game is still not over until you can, until it gets down and when you just see total death.
So we wait to see. It is Lorenzo King. And that's the other thing about this game, is Moss Point has players dropping almost every other play.
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting physically beaten tonight.
Yeah. And if they don't get back into, I mean, really get, when this all season does get here, you get in the weight room and bulk up, then, you know, you're going to continue to have long seasons like this until you get somebody up front that can be physical, like the Pascagoula offense, Big Duval and his mates have done tonight.
Scott has it on the tee, steps up 5 yards and pooches it again. Kicks it away from King, taking it to 22 and drop. King then picks it up, and he is dropped himself by Kenny Wells. And so this Scott guy has found a little weakness, a cavity in the Tigers' special teams.
And the Tigers are still staying deep. They know he's not going to kick the ball deep, so everybody moves up.
To make that stop.
So Tristan Barnes, who started the season for Moss Point at quarterback, will at least come in at the end of the season, trying to bring a spark to an offense that has done nothing. Its first 2 possessions, the Tigers got 27 yards of total offense and 2 field goals, even though Moss Point started at Pascagoula's 36 and Pascagoula's 30. Barnes on first down, a conservative handoff, goes nowhere. Marset dropped, no gain on the play. Zane Barron made the tackle.
Any quarterback for Moss Point, number 12, Tristan Barnes. The handoff.
A lot of pressure to put on Tristan this late to come in the 4th quarter, especially when your offense is not doing a very good job, especially blocking.
Second down. Barnes from the shotgun, steps up, sidearm pass is caught. 37-yard line, caught by Sanders, who sat down and made the catch.
Well, the good thing about with T. Barnes in the football game is that he has played at quarterback, so he does have some ability to be able to throw the football and all. He's going to throw the football a lot quicker. I don't think he has the scrambling ability of C.J. Bailey, but if that offensive line just gives him a few seconds, Moss Point has the receivers to get back in this football game in a hurry.
It's first and 10. Barnes back. Out pattern is caught at the 45. Staying inbounds was Akeem Simmons.
Now, Pearson is not going to throw you that long home run ball that C.J. can throw. But he's going to throw you those good patterns and ins out.
about
I mean, Mark's rotating right now the wide receivers every play, but you know, with McBride, Sanders, and Simmons in the football game, you have a lot of speed in the game together. But the Tigers have decided to keep 2 running backs in to try to give Barnes time to throw the football.
Second out and 3. 9:20 remaining. Barnes steps up, pressure coming, almost got away from it. Got a yard, brings up third down.
8 people to block 4 people, and that 4 people is winning the job big time.
Third down and 2. Barnes under center this time. And he'll take a timeout. He tried to draw Pascagoula offside, and he burns a timeout with 8:41 remaining. Let me ask you this question. Next year, C.J. Bailey is your starting quarterback. He's a junior next year. Taking him out of this game in the 4th quarter, what does that do to your confidence going into the offseason?
He's got a lot of growing up to do over to try to shake it off, and the only way he's going to shake it off is to get back on the football field next season and to open the season with a lot of big plays. He's got to do that. If he feels that over his shoulder that the hook is coming, then he's going to play not relaxed. And what you always want the quarterback to do is to play relaxed.
Moss Point has never established a running game tonight. The only running we've seen is C.J. Bailey scrambling for his life. For the most part, Bailey was successful in doing that. 3rd and 2. Play action. Throwing to the tight end Nettles, and Nettles fights for it and brings it down at the 40. Great catch by Nettles. 15 yards and a first down.
That's why I hate it when you run that timeout. That timeout may come back to haunt the Tigers. I mean, you've got to still stop the clock. It's 8+ to go into the football game. You've got to score twice. If you can score quick, then you don't have to worry about the offside kick. You kick the ball deep. And
now a timeout taken by Pascagoula. Panthers take a timeout. 8:26 now remains in this football game. Nettles should be credited there because he was covered on the play, but he was fought stronger.
He decided he wanted the football. That's why, you know, it's one of the things I've been hollering all year, hoping to throw the football to him. You get his confidence level up, he becomes another target. Right now, most teams don't even think about covering the tight end with North Point because how many times probably have thrown to him 10 times all season. But missing Brandon Viverett right now, I think is more of a hurting thing for Morris Point than anything because he is the guy that can break the game open for you that's been playing offense a lot. You just would hope that somebody would put, and I know the coaches know this personnel, but I would hope that some kind of way, as you counted all year, that Brandon King could get in this football game on the offensive side.
Ocean Springs has cut it to 28-20 against St. Martin. Play action, first down. Tristan rolls, gets away from one, throws against his body, should be intercepted, it wasn't. It'll bring up second down.
Well, I thought I heard a whistle blow like the clock had, like he had gone out of bounds. Maybe that was just a band member. But see, that's another thing the ball from the receivers got to be schooled at. When Tristan rolls to the side, all the receivers stop. If someone that kept running down the sideline, that's what he was looking for right in front of him. That's why he had to go back across his body.
Sanders to the top, Simmons to the bottom. Jenkins and Marset the backs. And back to pass. Losing time at the last minute is Barnes. Breaks away, still on his feet. Still on his feet. Barnes tough running, lost a couple of yards. But Tristan Barnes showed guts. It brings up third down. Clock continues to run.
And look at what the receivers, when he started scrambling, all the receivers just stopped. The big third down play now. But again, it's hard for a quarterback to get any kind of time to throw the football when he's got to run for his life. No one throws the ball on the run as well as they do standing up in the pocket.
Third down, 12, 7 minutes, 35 seconds. The clock is running. Fourth quarter, Moss Point trails 17-6. Barnes throws the out pattern. It is intercepted. 23-yard line. He was trying to hit Simmons, but it's picked off by Wells. Wells is to the 40. Wells will cross the 50, to the 30, to the 20, to the 10, 5. Touchdown, no flag, 77 yards. Pascagoula is going to win Region 4, and the Tigers, for all practical purposes, will be home for the rest of 2003.
Well, this is the first time since 1987 that Pascagoula has beat Morris Point here on his own field. And if the defense, if this defense continues to play the way it's played tonight into the playoffs, look for this ball control offense to go a long way into the playoffs.
So Moss Point more than likely will finish the season at 3-4 in the region and 5-6 overall. Now the only thing we can hope for is Biloxi to beat Gulfport. And those three teams tie. And then Biloxi goes. So that doesn't matter.
No, it's getting at our ring now.
Over.
This season is history. There's a lot of guys, a lot of people don't get ready to get the jank on, but it's the first time they have a chance to jank since what, 96?
Yep.
So it's just a matter now of Moss Point getting the confidence level back to come back next year. Still remember fans, that this football team is a primarily sophomore junior dominated team. And that means that their confidence level has got to get better, and they've got to get stronger for next year so that they can come back and recover from this humiliating season.
2 interception returns for touchdowns for Pascagoula here in the fourth quarter. Has taken a 10-6 game and made it 24-6. If Scott can make the extra point with 7:07 remaining. And he does. 24-6, a 77-yard INT for touch by Kenny Wells. So in the final 3 weeks, Moss Point has been tripped up by Gulfport, St. Martin, and now Pascagoula. And the long off season begins about 4 weeks earlier than Moss Point and its fans ever dreamed it would.
Hopefully the Tigers, and they'll know. Coach Alexander's been around a long time. He knows what this team has to do. First of all, he knows his offensive line's got to get strong. They've got to get, and they've got to work on technique. They've got to do a better job. Those guys that's coming back next year have got to dedicate themselves to carrying this load. I mean, this is the same thing that we remember happened in the Starkville game a couple years ago. They exploited the offensive line of Moss Point. And the reason I'm saying that is because Moss Point still, when's the last time they really had a running game? And until you can get a running game, you cannot live by the pass.
Well, last time they had a running game, they had guys like Kelly carrying them. Jarvis Sellers and Kelly. And the thing is, as they try the pooch kick again, this time it sails toward the sidelines and does go out of bounds, so the Tigers will get it to 35. The thing is, there's running talent on this team.
Oh, yeah.
But it's on the defensive side of the football.
Yeah, and the skill positions are good. You know, Simmons and Sanders, both and Nettles, the starting receivers and tight end are all back next year.
Yep.
That's a lot of talent there. C.J. Bailey has a lot of talent. But, again, on the offensive side, you've got to get those 5 guys up front. And again, I heard one guy told me, man, you sure are hard on offensive line. I played that. I wasn't no all-pro. Wasn't no all-state, none of this. But I do know what it takes in order to play offensive line. And when I see an offensive lineman standing up and looking when his quarterback is being hit or scrambling, and you stand up there looking, then I say you're not doing your job.
C.J. Bailey is back in the football game for Moss Point. Down by 18. The Tigers will get it from the 35. And now they're going to mark off 15 for unsportsmanlike conduct on Pascagoula, so they'll move it to midfield. Not sure where that came from, but we'll take it.
On the sideline, I thought the flag that I saw that was because the ball went out of bounds. But one of the guys from Mars Point went over there and I saw a push from behind.
7:07. Stranger things have happened, but you got to score first.
C.J. Bailey's back in it.
Yeah, that's one of the things the Tigers got to work on, try to develop a way. Because if you got a running game, when you get in the red zone, you can get it. Because you know what if? You know you don't live by what if, but what if Mars Point had scored touchdowns on those first 2 possessions because of the field goals?
Well, before I was able to get those words out of my mouth, that we let opportunities slip away. Pascagoula was in the end zone. There's a pass nearly picked up again by Wells, and he would have had another TD. See, here's the deal now. Moss Point's keeping all its receivers in, so they're putting 2 receivers in the pattern against 6, and 5 guys are putting pressure on the quarterback.
Yeah.
And Michael Fox, number 55, out there exhorting his team, don't let him get in the end zone. This is Moss Point. We want to win a championship in style.
But when we started this football game with the 5 people starting offensive line, quarterback had a lot of time. It appeared that once the substitutes were made, and I don't know the referee, what he's doing with Michael Fox, but he's walking him to the sideline.
There's some sort of problem with the piece of equipment.
Okay. I didn't think that Michael was usually a pretty mountable guy.
Well, nothing against Richard Perkins, who wears number 57, but when you're 5'7" and 190 pounds, it's pretty tough to be an offensive lineman in football today.
And 5'9" is not, that's being generous.
CJ across the middle. He has Simmons at the 30, pickup of 20 and a first down.
And you know, the rock on offense is always supposed to be the center. And if you look at Brandon McDonald, and he's going to start center, they've got Brandon McDonald listed at 220 pounds.
Yeah.
Now there's something wrong with your scales.
And that's the thing we've been saying from week 1.
Yes.
They are just too small on the line. Moss Point doesn't have enough Willie Pritchett's. Look at CJ dancing all over the place, and then he's just grabbed and thrown down by Zane Brown. They were at the 30, the ball's back at the 47. It's a 23-yard loss on the sack, and again, there's only 3 men in the pattern.
And I'm hearing a lot of the fans hollering, throw the ball, throw the ball. If you throw the ball, it's going to be intercepted. 3 people in the pattern with me, with the quarterback, that's 4. That leaves 7 people to block 3 to 4 people.
And you're in the shotgun.
And you're in the shotgun.
And the way they run shotgun, you're already 15 yards behind the line of scrimmage.
And Zane Barrow, number 20, has been giving Mars Point's offensive line fits all night. Now they have 8 people back in formation. And I mean, it's almost impossible to complete a pass. Yeah, especially when you don't stand with a couple of receivers. You got to flood it.
Well, they got 4 in the pattern this time. They're going to play action. And it's Barron again, grabbing the quarterback. It's an incomplete pass. He's going to throw a penalty because there was nobody in the neighborhood. So that'll be intentional grounding. And Bailey's slow in getting up.
Flag on the play. It appears to be intentional grounding. Bailey brought down by number 20.
Our job, you know, is to find all the positives and talk about them.
Loss of down.
5:32.
Mars Point won 5 state championships, and they got a lot of talent. Got some guys on this team that will sign some scholarships, like Brandon King. Got to look for David Jenkins to get a lot of looks. You know, they've got some talent that's coming back next year. So that's what you're about.
Yep. Well, they have a lot of talent coming back.
And the defense on the defensive side now.
Think about it, Willie Pritchett's coming back.
Willie Pritchett.
You got Memorial Pickens coming back. You got Cornelius Kelly coming back. You got
Kevin North.
North is coming back. How about Richardson, who played so well at linebacker?
He's just a sophomore.
Joe Simmons, who has played safety this year. You know, the one thing about Moss Point, he's over the line of scrimmage as he rifles it downfield. Wide open, touchdown, Jenkins. Penalty flags are thrown. Another touchdown coming back because he had crossed the line of scrimmage. I was hoping he wasn't going to throw it, but two refs, both Macbeth, who would step in up for 2 straight years. Nobody took the reins of this defense and said, it's mine, I'm going to make all the plays.
And there were a lot of injuries.
Right.
You know, when you got a lot of injuries on your football team, and then you don't have to design the heart to carry it out, and then, you know, I just sense that this was not overall a together group of people. It wasn't. All right, John. Good, yeah, it was a good season.
CJ on 4th down and forever is hit again and thrown down again. They rush 2 men and he's sacked for a loss.
And look over on this sideline. You know, all offensive linemen are over here with their hands on their hip. And matter of fact, one offensive lineman was at the 50-yard line. He was 10, 12 yards past the line of scrimmage. Even if the ball is thrown, he's going to come back with the nail to the receiver downfield.
31-yard line.
That's something else that I haven't seen this year. I've not seen Moss Point play this football game, this football season smart. Right. With a lot of it, even the players.
But in the off season, if you're a junior and going to be a senior, while you're conditioning and trying to build muscle, you got to build leadership too. You've got to make a commitment in the weight room and in the locker room that you are going to be the man that they count on. If the running back goes up the gut and scores yet another touchdown,
got penalty flag at the 25.
that was number 47. It was at 43. It was Robert Johnson. See if that counts.
I think he's calling this against Moss Point.
There it is against the Tigers. So Moss Point has nailed it in. Pascagoula can do whatever it wants.
Decline. With 5:03 to go in the 4th quarter. The Pascagoula Panthers 30.
Well, we want to congratulate Pascagoula. This is their first ever region championship, and we congratulate Pascagoula. You know, Moss Point has carried the torch for this region a long time. Now it's time for Gula to try to carry the torch as well.
And you want to know something? That's a good football team in the far side of the field.
So Dan Bland has to be congratulated on how he turned this football team around after they lost to Gaucher. And remember when they lost to Gaucher, Pascagoula had an opportunity to win the football game on the last play on the field goal and had a bad snap.
They just called running into the kicker on North, and it's Moorhead who got knocked over. The holder's the one who got run over, and they just called a penalty running into the kicker on Moss Point.
That's the same call. It would be the same call.
Penalties decline, extra points good. 5:03.
So Brad, what's the score for you for all season?
Well, let's see. First thing I'm going to do is rest my voice. And you know what? I'm going to try to put a little muscle back on. I haven't been to the gym in a while.
I got too much around my build already.
Last year, the season ended 1 week later than it will end this year. And you saw then, I think we both knew that this was coming.
Oh, yeah.
I think we knew in week 1 that this was coming.
Well, we talked about it. We talked about it even before the season started that we felt like at Moss Point, this is one of the two. Normally, Moss Point is in a reloaded frame of mind. This year, this actually was a rebuilding year. And again, when you start as many young people as what Moss Point started, then you certainly are going to take it on the chin. You're going to take it on the chin when you have a lot of sophomores and juniors, especially inexperienced quarterbacks.
Yep.
I mean, you know, C.J. Bailey has all the ability in the world, but for the last 2 years, Brandon Biggs is primarily the senior call, and last year, C.J. got in on a few snaps, but not the kind that you need to experience week in and week out.
One thing Moss Point has to find for next football season is a place kicker, because both of their kickers, Lorenzo King and Marcus Poole, are seniors. So that's one thing that must be developed in the offseason.
And they did a good job for Moss Point this year. And I don't know where Poole is tonight, like I said, but the Tigers need to find a way to be able to just look at the weaknesses and even on the offensive side, you haven't talked about a little bit, you know, about our offensive philosophy. You know, do we need to do like Pascagoula to some degree? They found out they couldn't throw the football. So what they did, they told Moorhead, you got to be a good ball handler. Moorhead became a good ball handler, kept giving the ball and handing the ball off. They found Hopkins who could run the ball. Dennis was good complimentary back. And then they moved Xavier Stallworth from the defensive tackle to fullback because he's a good blocker.
So at this point, a timeout is called by Pascagoula. To Jerry Alexander, I think you look at the offense and say, just run the ball a couple times, let's get out of here.
That's
because I'm watching C.J. Bailey drop back play after play and get hammered and hammered and hammered again, and what value is that?
Well, his confidence level is already shot.
Right.
You know, see, the best thing to do, like you said, is to get this game over with, is get it over. But, I mean, I'm sorry for people like Brandon King, Lorenzo King, Macbeth. He didn't play that much last year. Isaac Grantville. Those are the guys who, you know, I have a deep feeling for because they have given their all for 3 straight years on this football team. And the seniors, I know this is not the way you ever want to go out, especially lose to your rival. I mean, and to get hammered pretty much by your rival. So wherever these guys go, and I tell them all about football. You know, football is important, but it's not as important as what you're going to do the rest of your life.
Exactly right.
Get your books and then go to college. You don't want to go to college, get you a good job, get your head on straight, do something positive, do something in the community, get involved.
They do run the ball on second and long with Jenkins. You know, back in week 1, after, you know, weeks of training in the heat and humidity of South Mississippi, Picayune Bomb lost point 30-0. Moss Point was able to bounce back from that devastating opening loss. But this one may hurt even more than the opener.
Well, this one does hurt because, again, it's to your rival. And
two-man rush, ball is dropped, fumbled, and they're going to say he was down.
He's going to dead now. And the defensive people have been on the sideline talking with each other, trying to hold up, and they're talking about the season. I know they're saying, you know, what is this and what is that. The thing that you can't do, is you can't put blame on anyone.
Nope.
You win as a team, you lose as a team, and that starts from the administration all the way down to the ball boys.
Yep.
And to put the blame on anyone other than the whole team. I mean, we call it, we say that the weaknesses, that's our job to call it, and we think that's our job anyway, our responsibility, but after the season is over, you have to bond. I remember Miko Hunter, when he played at Morris Point some years ago, and Morris Point played Warren Central up there, and Warren Central just ran that kind of Morris Point throat. They thought, Miko Hunter said, I got to get in the weight room, because this is that's what happened. They were stronger than us, and that team came back, and came back with records abandoned.
Yep. Across the middle, it's caught by Sanders for a first down. Marquise Sanders is only a junior.
Yeah, he's a junior. He's a small guy, but he goes across the middle real well. But before it's over, I'm going to tell you the people everyone that's going to be coming to Morris Point to see. And number 3, King Simmons, I think. Now, he has good height, good speed, and he has good hands.
And he's only a sophomore.
He's just a sophomore. So before it's over, he and C.J. Bailey should write a lot of records in Tiger Town. Bailey
back, still with 2 years remaining here at Moss Point. His pass is to Simmons, the out pattern to the 25. Clock mercifully shows 3 minutes and 20 seconds, and it continues to run.
Normally, we don't want that clock to run. That clock runs so fast, and tonight it's just, I mean, I think they turned it off on every play just to try to get a few more points home for Lula.
A lot of players gathered around Jerry Alexander at this particular moment.
When I see something that I don't like, there are a few players walking off the field, and that's poor.
Across the middle again, Sanders inside the 10. There's the one thing that we haven't talked about that seems to always be a topic of conversation. I don't think we really need to get into it other than to say, you know, one of the great questions with Moss Point's program is, will Jerry Alexander be back next year? That seems to be the talk every year at this time.
That's the talk every year. I think he will be back.
Pass to the corner, it's incomplete. Simmons was open and went right through his hands. 2:17 remaining. I hope he is back.
I do too. I think
he deserves an opportunity to get this taste out of his mouth.
Well, he came in at a trying time.
Yep.
Right after Billy Wayne Miller died, didn't have that much time, but he righted the ship. Jerry's always been a pretty popular coach, and he came in and won the state championship. I believe before this sophomore group is over, Moss Point is going to win another state championship.
Our pattern is incomplete once again. He's nearly picked off by Triplett. Octavius Triplett.
Well, Moss Point is in that buzzer territory again inside the 20-yard line. So.
3rd down and goal from inside the 10.
And remind you that Pascagoula put a lot of new people on the field. You know, the starters over there. I know they're lobbing from Dan Bland. They don't want the touchdown scored. They don't want any more points to be scored against them.
You know, the one thing this Moss Point team has to remember in the offseason, it has to have fun.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think the players had fun this year. And it may go back to the things that we have perceived. Some of the players that are no longer on the team that may have been a problem, but there's no bounce. In Moss Point football, used to have a swagger and a bounce. And so when you're thinking about playing this game, it's a game. Get out there and have some fun. They started tonight. It was fun.
Fun, that's right.
And then the first thing that went wrong, and the fun disappeared.
And Brad, that's one thing we don't know, and we don't want to speculate. We don't know if there has been some type of problem or dissension or whatever on this football team. It does have some questions because of the fact that you look at the number of people that's on the football team or what Moss Point normally has, and then you look at
touchdown Tigers, Eric. Oh no, they should have given it to Eric Harris. Lost it to the corner. And now touchdown Tigers. The catch by Simmons in front of Jenkins. And for the few fans that are left, celebrate with 1:53 remaining. That Moss Point has 6 more points on the board.
And that's confidence. Anytime you finish with something positive, you know, you got something good. But again, Coach Alexander has put together a good formation, a good team, a good organization. Too many people believe that just because you're Moss Point Tigers, you walk on the field, you automatically got a W. When you get on top, it's much harder to play and stay on top than it is to get there.
The 2-point conversion for Moss Point. With CJ back, rolling. Look, oh, what a block. 2-point conversion is good. That's the largest offensive lineman I've seen Moss Point put on the field all year. That block from Antonio Mitchell. Where's he been all year?
On the field.
Has he?
Yeah, he's been on the field.
Okay.
And look at his classification as well. He's just a junior. So he's got a lot of work to do. He's the guy, he's one of those that's got to get in the weight room and get stronger. You know, Antonio Mitchell will be back next year. Well, Chris Johnson is a senior. Ladarius Viverett is a junior. And Ladarius Viverett, he has a lot of ability. The one game we played, I think when he was pulling, I can't remember what game that was when he made such a crush and block. I don't know if that was Gulfport or the Long Beach football game, but Harrison Pacific game. He made some great blocks in that football game. But those two guys are going to be the leaders of this offensive line next year, and they have to go into that weight room and get stronger. Coach Maxwell and I were talking before the ball game. I've always said that people look at quarterbacks and all those kind of people to be the leaders. I think it's got to be an offensive line.
Is a player like Willie Pritchett, and I think we talked about this earlier in the football season, I mean, he's got so much size and speed. He moved from the offensive side of the football? and put him at an offensive lineman position?
I think that would be his best position to help the team right now.
Onside kick is going to work. No. It's picked up by Wells, and Wells is going to score. Well, they did virtually everything right until the very last second, and suddenly Wells had the football and went about 50 yards for a touchdown.
Everybody watched the ball bounce, and nobody went after the team.
It's 37-14.
Well, I guess I have to go by the club and get my jab tonight.
Get it out of the way.
Go ahead and get it out the way. Well, they deserved it. Pascagoula was a better football team tonight, and by the way they played, and one of the reasons they were the better football team and the reason for it this year.
They bring out a new kicker, Derek Soche.
I just asked all the Tiger fans to come back next Friday night and just root Pascagoula on. You know, when Morris Point on this run, Pascagoula, a lot of his players follow Morris Point and root Morris Point on. I think Morris Point should do the same thing. Just root Pascagoula on the victory.
Extra point is blocked. Penalty flag down. Illegal procedure is called. It will be declined.
Flag on the play, illegal procedure.
And there's some jaw-jacking going on out there.
Oh, yeah.
Good-natured, I think.
Well, it's the substitutes on one team.
Actually, it wasn't. Actually, it was two starters.
Oh, it was?
Oh, yeah.
Well, and it's probably one.
I won't mention names, Cornelius, Kelly, and Hobson.
I can tell when you say starters.
But I think that was good-natured. I saw Mel Thompson run over there like, you know, he wanted to break it up, but I think he started laughing when he heard what they were actually talking about.
But believe it or not, a lot of these guys, even though it's a rival, a lot of these guys are friends.
Yeah.
They're friends, they get along, and they'll talk trash. I mean, it's just like I go down to the club or your rivalry in high school. Then when it's over, it's over. I mean, the key thing is remember game, young men. Games, not games.
Would you believe me if I told you that the fourth quarter started and it was 10-6?
Yes, I would.
And it's now 37-14.
2 defensive touchdowns and a special team touchdown. That's a lot of points.
Be interesting to see as the ball is taken by Brandon King for the final time, more than likely, as a Moss Point Tiger. It'll be interesting to see who Jerry schedules next football season in the non-region slate. Which teams are suddenly going to be willing to take on Moss Point?
Well, you probably have a lot that'll jump off the
Right.
table now. I mean, this past year, Moss Point played a 3A team in Greene County, 4A in Goshen, and in Picayune, which was a 5A. And it was long into the season before Moss Point got a win against a 5A football team. I think Coach Spring, was that the first win?
Yeah, because they lost to Biloxi.
They lost to Biloxi.
You know, that's one of the things. I mean, the fact that they had to play a 3A school really didn't prepare them as well as they could have been prepared, as the pass to the outside is caught by Sanders. I mean, when you go down 2 classes to play, the talent level is different.
Well, and you look how mentally tough Moss Point was in the season that they played West Monroe and Evangel Christian. I mean, top-notch teams, and were competitive against both of those teams for 2 years in a row. Had both of them beaten Moss Point.
Minute 18, clock runs. A long fourth quarter. Out pattern is caught by Simmons, then dropped. And Simmons, he's got one bugaboo, and that's it. He takes his eye off the football a lot.
Trying to run with it before he gets the football, and I've seen that more tonight than I have all year. Normally, he's a pretty sure-handed receiver.
But that's something that's easily corrected.
Yeah, oh yeah. And he's just trying to run before, and your mind's off the game a little bit, taking a whipping like this. And you look at all the students from Pascagoula over there waiting to greet this football team, and I'm glad to see that. You know, I'm not glad to see Moss Point lose, but it's good to see Pascagoula finally get out of the graveyard and come up.
When this season started, pass across the middle is incomplete. He tried to hit Nettles. If I would have said, or you would have said, that St. Martin, Pascagoula, and Ocean Springs would be 3 of the 4 representatives out of Region 4 in the playoffs, and the 4th was not Moss Point. First of all, I don't think any of us really thought the first 3 would get there.
That's right. I think they would have had all those committed.
Harrison Central, Long Beach, Moss Point were the 3 favorites. Throw Gulfport into the mix. It was supposed to be the Harrison County schools with Moss Point mixed in. Instead, it's Jackson County with Gulfport mixed in.
That's it. And, you know, Moss Point would have come back and would have won tonight. You know, it still would have been 3 teams from Jackson County in the playoffs. But, be as it may, as they say, all good things must come to an end. And the good thing about when things come to an end, there's always a new beginning.
That's right.
A new beginning.
Pass incomplete with 31 seconds remaining.
I think that was the hook and ladder.
Could have been.
The way Eric Harris was coming around.
We're going to keep the post-game show to a minimum since we've had the post-game show already. How's that
I think so. We've talked enough.
So once the clock hits 0 and we start to watch the Tigers head out and shake hands with Pascagoula's football team, we're going to sign off for 2003. Again, we want to salute each and every senior, whether you're a football player, a cheerleader, a band member, and the parents of all of the above. It's because of you that Jackie and I, Clarence DeBose, and his staff get to enjoy Moss Point football each and every Saturday morning, Friday night when we watch it live. You know, I had a guy come up to me last week before the game and say to me, you really have a passion about this, don't you? I mean, you really bleed Moss Point football. And I said, you know what, I do. I mean, I wouldn't do this, you wouldn't do this if you didn't. I mean, this is a terrific program run by a classy coach, a good staff, and kids that give their all each and every week.
And we talk about the progress even in the classroom that has happened over the last couple of years.
Final play of 2003 is a pass to Marquise Sanders, who makes a move, dives down to 11, and the Pascagoula Panthers are your Region 4 champions in 2003, knocking off Moss Point 37 to 14. As the Tigers head out to the football field to congratulate Pascagoula on a job well done. Moss Point 3 and 4 in the region and 5 and 6 overall.
For Tigers, those of you that have lost, again, can't restate it more that this is a football game preparing you for life. Now, you get ready for life and do something positive with your life. 10, 12, 15 years from now, you're going to come back and you're going to have a good laugh about this. It don't hurt as bad as the time get on. Take it to somebody who's been there.
Heck, let me tell you something. They're going to have a good laugh about this maybe a week from now.
Oh, yeah.
And by the time they get to Thanksgiving, and they realize they're not going to have to work as hard. They get some time away from football, time away from running sprints and doing whatever they got to do to prepare for a football game. They're going to feel pretty good about themselves. But they only can wait till Thanksgiving. After that, start focusing on next football season.
That's right. And you can look at a lot of the guys that are coming out and shaking hands, hugging each other. Kenny McBelt, Brock Wilder, those guys. Look at that. I mean, not only are they shaking hands, they're giving each other big hugs. Like we said, a lot of these guys are friends. I'm disappointed in at least one guy, and I won't call his name, and he's listed on our program as just a sophomore. He got mad and went off and took the shoulder pads off. That's not class when you do that. You stay there with your team and you take it all the way. I know it hurts, but you know, what can you do about it? You did everything you could, and the only time I think your person ought to feel bad is when they didn't give it their all.
The final score here from War Memorial Stadium in Pascagoula at Dutch Pinion Field was the Pascagoula Panthers 37 and the Moss Point Tigers 14. Pascagoula is your region champion. Pascagoula, St. Martin will be 1-2 in the region. Ocean Springs will finish 3rd, and the Gulfport Admirals will finish as the 4 seed when the playoffs begin next Friday night. My friend, I'm sorry that it's so soon.
Well, but that's I mean, Brad, believe it or not, like we said, it's what we anticipated for this year. We want to win every ball game too, but we almost knew that this game was going to go down, or this season was going to go like this with all the inexperienced people. That's what Pascagoulla's gone through the last couple of years, is a rebuilding program. Now, Coach Alexander has to go back and he has to rebuild his football team and then come back and make a show in Region 4.
Folks, head by Metamart Pharmacy. Ask Clarence to speak with Clarence DeBose and just say thank you to him. For the 12th consecutive year, Clarence and his staff have done a marvelous job bringing you the pictures of Moss Point Tiger football. It is not easy to take the van around the region as they do each and every week. It's the same van they've been driving, I think, for 12 years now.
And Clarence told me before the game, this is the last year for that van.
Oh my gosh.
We may have a horse trailer next year.
I just hope there is a next year. Clarence, I look forward to mid-August when I get that letter from you that begs and pleads and says all those wonderful words, because I wouldn't miss this for the world. I wouldn't miss the friendship that you've shared with me, Jackie, because I do consider you a very good friend. And,
same here, Brad.
And I look forward to hearing from you down the line and seeing you next summer, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, now. Come on, man.
So we're gonna try to we come with something dealing with a tiger. But I tell you one thing, you know, Candid Video, Private Clarence is gonna do some advising. Coach Brian Brooks kicks off basketball season Monday, and Bill Booker, who's president, I guess, of the, I don't know what the club is for the basketball, he's behind. We're gonna be broadcasting Moss Point basketball
really
as well. So that's something that's going to be different. And we were talking, Walter Thornton and I were talking before the game with some guys. Probably Moss Point is the only school in the state, and probably one of the few, probably in the country, I bet, that has every game on football and not going to have basketball, and then on the internet as well. So Moss Point has a rich history, and that's just the happy fans that's coming on with his football team.
There is a celebration in the South End, and unfortunately for Moss Point, they have to turn around and watch it. The season is over. The Tigers have lost their final game of the season, 37-14. Again, the Tigers 3-4 in the region and 5-6 overall. Clarence, Sean, Tyrone, everybody else, thank you very much. For Jackie Ellie and Clarence DeBose, I'm Brad Kessie. Again, the final score in week number 11, it was Pascagoula winning Region 4 by beating Moss Point 37-14. Tiger Football is a Candy Video production seen each and every Saturday morning right here on cable channel 13. Until 2004, have a wonderful year, everybody.
Goodbye.
We did.
Hey, Clarence, you know, all of this started when somebody had a trip and left us in the dark. Yeah, when Brad Kessie kept to that on Friday night. You see, since that time, we have won a ball game since, haven't we?
Yeah, you know what? I'll take it. I'll take it because we lost that night. Missouri won the next day, and I need Missouri to win tomorrow. So. Yes, they will. They better. They better.
Hey, I'll be in Baton Rouge rooting the Southern Jaguars on. Thank you, Clarence.
See you, Clarence.
Okay.